Let's see. All right. What's going on, y'all? It's your man, Stephen Bardo, coming at you with another edition of Bardo's Breakdown. I know it's been a while. I've took a little bit of time off, kept my eye on the NBA into the regular season. We are in the playoffs, y'all. Made it to the playoffs. Uh, Stu, I saw you call, bro. I'm going to hit you back. All right. I'll hit you back. Hope all is well with everybody today. We're going to talk a little bit of NBA playoffs here. So NBA playoffs 2021. Willis J82, SD2 Mics. Thanks for joining. First up, let's talk Western Conference. We've got number 7 Lakers versus number 8 Warriors. Okay. What do you got? What are your thoughts on this? I'm going to say some things really quickly. I'll try to brush through them and I'll, get to your comments because I want to hear what you have to say more than me talking. This is going to be interesting because the Warriors have done a good job, in my opinion, fighting their way into the playoffs despite multiple injuries, trying to get new personnel integrated into what they're doing. So they've had a heck of a run. But I think when LA can pound the ball inside, I think LA will win that series. But that has been, I think I'm like LeBron James. He said that Steph Curry is the MVP. I can't disagree with him. Steph Curry's had an amazing season. LMU Lions. What's up, Coach? What's up, Coach Johnson? Good man. Patrick Regulier. I hope I pronounced that right. Thanks for jumping on. So I've got the Lakers in the play-in versus the Warriors. First of all, hold on. Let me go to this. Let me pull this up. So this might give you guys a little bit of understanding what the play-in tournament looks like. So 7 and 8 will play. The winners of the Lakers and Golden State Warriors will be the 7th seed, right? The loser plays the winner of 9 and 10. So I say LA wins, right? So LA will be the 7th seed against number 2 seed Phoenix. Then if you look up here, the loser of the 7-8 game, which will be the Warriors. What's up, Coach Gene Croft? The losers of the 7-8 game, which is the Warriors, would play the winner of the 9-10 game, which is Memphis Grizzlies versus San Antonio Spurs. Then the winner of that game will be the number 8 seed. Does that make sense? So the winner of the 7-8 game, the winner take all, they slot into the 7th seed. The loser from the 7-8 game plays the winner of the 9-10 game. The winner of that game is the 8th seed. That's the play-in tournament. So it was a little confusing. I wanted to pull this up so you guys could see this. But I think you get a sense of it. We'll get into it. All right. So I like the Lakers over the Warriors. I like the Grizzlies over the Spurs. The Spurs are in a big time rebuilding mode. I like the Grizzlies because of Ja Morant. He can take over a game. I like Memphis's roster. I know that Jaren Jackson Jr. hasn't played much, but I believe he's back now. And with Clark, there's another forward with the Grizzlies I really like. But they're a young team, but play with a lot of swagger. And in a playing situation, I like their individual talent over the Spurs. So I will be interested in seeing the winner of the Grizzlies versus Golden State to see who gets that 8th slot in the Western Conference. Let's slide over to the Eastern Conference. The number 7 seed Celtics take on the number 8 seed Wizards. This is an upset favor of a lot of people. I'm not one of them because Bradley Beal is not 100% with this hamstring injury. And if any of you all have played with a hamstring injury, you are one quick burst away from blowing that thing. And so he's not going to be as aggressive as he normally would. I think the Celtics have a little bit more pride They've heard the naysayers. They've had a very difficult year. I like the Celtics to win this one. And then in the other Eastern Conference play-in game is the number 9 seed Pacers versus the number 10 seed Hornets, who I think are one of the most exciting teams. And for that reason alone, I want to see the Hornets beat the Pacers. Also, I didn't like that the Pacers let go of Nate McMillan. And you see what Houston's doing compared to, or Houston. You see what Atlanta is doing, where Nate McMillan is coaching, compared to what Indiana's doing. Because Indiana just barely got into this. Okay. So I'm pulling for the Hornets in this one. But it's going to be interesting to see. And then Basketball Africa League starts up. There are games on today. I believe one starts at 2 p.m. Central Time. So there'll be 3 today, I believe 3 tomorrow, and then they'll rotate, I believe, the next weekend. But interesting because rapper J. Cole is playing in the Basketball Africa League. He's playing with the Rwandan team. Going to be very interesting. J. Cole can hoop, y'all. Now, I don't think he's an NBA level hooper, but I think he can make some noise in this Basketball Africa League. And look, the marriage is perfect because J. Cole's new project just dropped. It just released. It's fire too, right? So he's going to be able to maybe perform over in Africa because one of the main components of the Basketball Africa League was to have arts and music, make it more like a festival. So the original thought of the Basketball Africa League was that they were going to travel to different countries. I was going to be a color analyst with this league, but COVID kind of threw a monkey wrench and all that. But I was going to be in Senegal one weekend. I think I was going to be in Angola and Morocco. So they were going to go to different countries. But now they're going to just have it in Rwanda, Kigali, Rwanda, which is a brand new NBA level arena. And what Basketball Africa League is trying to do is build a basketball ecosystem. And so J. Cole coming into the inaugural season, having just dropped his current project, which is nice, the all season. He's going to play. This was his original passion, J. Cole. To me, the best modern day hip hop artist I can listen to. In my opinion. So it's a good marriage. The Basketball Africa League needed J. Cole. J. Cole didn't need the league as much, but it's a good marriage. And I'm hoping that he goes over and has a good showing. I hope that his team can advance because that will create further buzz here in the United States for the Basketball Africa League. So it's kind of cool how things have come up. Zoomer Sports was good, man. Watching you in class right now. What's up? Hey, don't watch me, man. Get that education. You can hear me anytime. Meredith Evans, good to see you. Mary Belka. Thanks for joining, Mary Belka. All right, let me get to my tribe because my people woke up over here. What's going on? Shannon Williams, what's happening? Troy Collier, good to see you. Carol Poquet, yes, I've been a stranger. I know I've been away for a little bit. Rodney Marshall, Warriors going to shock them, Bardo. Hey, Rodney, you're not alone. A lot of people, I've heard, not a lot, I've heard a few people or I've read a few people on Twitter that like the Warriors in this matchup. Now, if Steph can go for 60, we can see it. He may not even need to go for 60. If Golden State can keep their ball movement as crisp and as fast as we've seen, and Andrew Wiggins is the key. Andrew Wiggins has got to have hit 25 or 30 in order for Golden State to win this game, in my opinion. But you're not alone, Rodney Marshall. There's a lot of people that feel the same way you do. And thanks for joining. What's up, Derek Rhodes? Can you comment on the new playoff play-in scenario? I mean, Derek, here's the thing. Leagues are always experimenting because they've got to find ways to engage new people coming into the fold and also existing fans. And so what the NBA does better than any other league, in my opinion, in the United States, any professional league, is that they're trying to stay attuned to the young audience. They're trying to stay up on technology. They're trying to do different things to get different excitement in. And the more NBA teams that you have in the playoffs, obviously the possibility, they really wanted Zion. They wanted Zion Williamson in the play-in game because the ratings would go up. So the NBA is experimenting with this format. I love the fact that LeBron James was on record for saying whoever came up with the play-in game needs to be fired, because you want to hear honest opinions from the players. It's just more games. It's a money grab. They didn't get their 82 regular season games in this year, so they're trying to get more money, period. And the play-in situation is probably going to be great because these guys are the best basketball players in the world, obviously, and the intrigue is going to be there. It's something that you typically don't see, a one-game win or go home scenario in the NBA. So I believe that you're going to see something entertaining, probably something we've not seen before. From that standpoint, Derek, I like the play-in game because we're going to see something that we've not, NBA plays on series. They play a series. They don't play one and done unless you get to a game 7. And we know what happens in game 7s. They're crazy exciting. I believe the NBA is trying this format to try to create some of that excitement at the beginning of the playoffs. So what are your thoughts, Derek? I'd like to hear yours and everyone else's as well. Kenneth Jinx 1, what's good? Jason Haskins, good to see you. JCA.int. Thank you for joining. I would like to see this round held at neutral with all teams, says Facebook user. All right, so the Facebook user would like to see a neutral site with all the 4 teams that would come to the neutral site. I mean, we're still at the, hopefully we're at the back edge of this 14-month-long situation that we've been in. One that would cost a lot more money. You'd have to get gym, the venue. The neutral site, would there be NBA fans allowed to come? How would that look? Oh, these landscapers are killing me, man. I try to I try not to go too early so I don't get this back. So please forgive me on that. So that I think from a cost standpoint, the neutral court situation doesn't work for the play-in. Will there be fans there or not? It's more money for the NBA to do something like that as opposed to being in LA and in Memphis and then in Boston and in Indiana, as opposed to trying to figure out a neutral situation. Bo Singer, how you doing? Good to see you. Hunter Holly, what's good, Hunter? I like the Celtics. I know Russell Westbrook can do some amazing things. Washington doesn't play enough defense for me to win a crucial game like this. They can score with anybody in the league, but as we well know, Hunter, in the playoffs, the pace slows, the physicality increases, and you really have to be able to make plays because all these teams are scouted tremendously. Every team knows what you're running for the most part. So you've got to be able to read and the nuances and to make plays, stuff like that. I don't see the Washington Wizards being able to do that against the Celtics. Even though the Celtics have struggled, I still like the Celtics in that one. BRN Girl 28, thanks for joining. Tom Rajab, I hope. Respects from International Ball. Okay, Tom, thanks for tuning in, saying hello. I appreciate it. Andrew Eisfeld, Phoenix all the way. Suns look good, man. I mean, if we go back to the let's look at the chart here. Phoenix, number 2 seed, would either play the Lakers or Golden State. Okay. So when you look at that, Lakers or Golden State, I think Phoenix can be successful against either team because they've had success this year. I think the Suns won both. series against Golden State and the Lakers, the number of games. I think they played 3 each. And I think Phoenix was 2-1 in both of those. They will play the winner of Denver-Portland. But don't be surprised to see Portland beat Denver in that first round. That's my upset pick. So Phoenix definitely could go. I mean, they've had a heck of a year, and they've probably got the best leader in all of basketball in Chris Paul. Spurs over Grizz. Rodney Marshall likes the upsets. I hear you, Rodney. Excuse me. Hold on, y'all. Pardon me. My allergies are bothering me a little bit today. He has Spurs over Grizz. I have Grizz over Spurs. What do you guys think? Brooks on the Grizzlies is a dog. Yep. Brooks from Oregon. He's a dog. Clark from Gonzaga is a dog. I love him. He plays hard. He plays above the rim. He runs like his life depends on it. And he still plays with a chip on his shoulder. So I like the Grizzlies. I really, really do. What's up, Aaron Janowski? Good to see you. Hope all is well. Andrew Eisfeld says Jay Carter should have a triple, should have had a triple double. All right, I don't know what you're talking about there, but fill me in, please. Do you know why the playing games were implemented this year? Must-see TV for fans, but a bit confused as to why the NBA created this. Troy, the NBA had a play-in series last year in the bubble, if you'll recall. And anytime a professional sports league can incorporate more teams in the playoff scenario, more TV games, more ad revenue, period. That's what it is. And the NBA is still trying to recoup funds that were lost during the shutdown. And even when the bubble situation happened last summer, I thought the play was outstanding. I stood up and applauded some of those games I saw because those guys played their tails off. So what happened is the NBA sees this and they're like, well, man, we had outstanding play in this bubble play-in situation. So let's throw a play-in situation to back in because we've got Zion Williamson and New Orleans Pelicans, who are a young team that lost some serious pieces that are going to struggle to get in the playoffs. I believe that had a big factor too with it. So that's why I think they did this, Troy. Number of reasons, but that's why I think. Okay, Aaron, what's up at Proviso East, partner? Is there another tournament out there that you're calling? I'm with you with the Celtics. I told my sons because Bradley Beal isn't 100%. You echoed the words right after me. Two great minds think alike. Carol Paul-Paquette. Carol's a original tribe member. And if you're interested in joining the tribe, let me throw that up there. You can do it two different ways. Text me to 312-847-2739. That's 312-847-2739. We've got just shy of 100 on there right now. I'm not going to blow you up on the text. You got, for those that have been on here before, you know I'm still learning, so I'm working with you. So join me, and let's have fun doing it. Or you can go to facebook.com/Bardo's Breakdown, BARDOS Breakdown. And you can join the tribe that way as well. And there are, I think I've got 600 something members in there now. It's starting to grow. And we're going to throw a party when we get to 1,000. All right. So those are two ways to be a tribe member. And I just wanted to always show love to Carol Paul-Paquette because she supported me from day one. And I appreciate you. Thank you. Rico Moad, another tribe member. My man, Mamela, he's wanting to know what's popping. Let's go with the playoffs. Mike Henry, Hawkeye's finest. Good to see you, Mike. Health will be huge in the playoffs. Yes, it will. Mike makes a good point because the regular season has been condensed. So they played more games in a shorter amount of time. So let's see whose bodies can respond to the added load of the playoffs. Even if Curry goes for 60, watch out for King James. He will not let the Lakers lose, says Carol Paul-Paquette. I happen to agree with Carol. It's hard for me to, in a one-game situation, and if LeBron is healthy, I think he took enough time to come back. I think he's as healthy as he's going to be. In a one-game scenario, I don't typically bet against LeBron, so I'm with you on that. Is Green guarding LeBron? Good question, Aaron. I think Kent Bazemore from Golden State is going to get a lot of time on LeBron James just because he's so athletic. He's about 6'6", 6'7", kind of strong. So he can maybe get up under LeBron a little bit and give him trouble. When I've seen LeBron struggle against players, it's when there's a 6'6", 6'7", kind of strong, wiry, athletic guy who's not afraid for LeBron and get up under him to force him to shoot those fall-away contested jump shots, not allow him to get downhill. Because you put somebody LeBron's size, 6'8", 6'9", he's usually faster, foot speed-wise, or he's stronger, or both. But Kent Bazemore is a unique defender. But everybody on the team is going to get a chance to try to guard him. Wiggins, Bazemore, Draymond Green. I'm sure Steph will switch out on him some. The two guard from Jordan Poole will get a crack at it sometimes. They're just going to have to run a lot of people at it. But I think Kent Bazemore, if Steve Kerr and his staff had their preference, I believe Kent Bazemore would get the majority of the time. That's a good call there. Last year, Bron was saying how a playing situation would be great, and now his squad dropped. Oh, okay. Yeah, here's the thing. LeBron knows that he's the face of the league, Rico, and so he's generally very careful about how he chooses his words. And so last year, coming off of the break due to COVID and them being just excited to get back to playing, he's going to say whatever he needs to say to have a positive outlook on what the NBA is doing. Just my opinion. So I think that, it obviously he's not happy that they're in the play-in scenario, but, here we go. D Baggett's 28, MB 43, the RJDS, Terry Campbell, Sleeves 2396. Thank you all for joining. Bo Singer says, what do you think about the Carbondale Holiday Tournament being canceled? I know you played in it, so personally I loved the tournament. Carbondale Holiday Tournament was an annual Christmas tournament in my hometown. And Quinn Buckner played in this, Thornridge, the great Thornridge teams that won a state title played there. The great Collinsville teams, Roger McClendon with Champaign Centennial, all these great teams and these great players over the years played at the Carbondale Holiday Tournament, and they just weren't getting any attendance. I don't know what's happening in Carbondale. It's just not the same as it used to be. Everybody around Southern Illinois used to come and enjoy that tournament. But my son, Stephen Paul, my oldest son, played in the tournament. How long ago was that? 12 years ago, I believe it was. 11 or 12 years ago. And my family was there. I couldn't be there because I was calling games. My family was taking pictures, and that place looked like it was a SIU arena. It's in a 10,000 seat venue, and nobody was there, and it was sad. But that's what happens. So had a great run. Sad to see it go, but had a great run. Al with Al and Pal show was good. Nice jersey. I should have got one from y'all. 1-2 combo was happening. Thanks for jumping on. Haven Mosley, what's good? No Rondo or Dwight Howard on the Lakers is going to show up in these playoffs. They were huge for them last year. Great call, Haven. Great call. It's going to be interesting to see how they try to overcome that. Because Dwight really was a defensive stalwart. Really anchored them well. Montrezl Harrell, though, I think Montrez is going to give them some of that added energy and that defensive prowess that Dwight Howard brought. He might not be as good of a rim protector, but his energy and effort and his offense, I think, can make up for the loss of Dwight Howard. But those are good points, Haven, as always. Glad you're on, partner. Good to see you. Will Donovan Mitchell be a factor for Utah, or is he out? Donovan Mitchell is going to, from what I've heard, he's going to play. How effective he's going to be remains to be seen. Obviously, he's not going to be 100%. Maybe his wind might be in question. We'll see. But Utah, being the number 1 seed overall in the West, should be okay, right? I mean, let's look at it. 51-20, they got the number 1 seed by 2 wins in the win column. So this is a team that was solid all year. They were the best team from wire to wire, were the Utah Jazz. So even if your best player goes down, but you're the number 1 overall seed, there should be enough on that. There should be enough talent on that roster, which I believe there is, because Clarkson can score with the best of them. So Clarkson, the problem with Utah is this: Mike Conley Jr. he just has injury trouble throughout his career, and when you got that condensed playoff schedule and you're running those back-to-backs, I'm concerned about his health. So that's why I would not pick Utah to go very deep. Definitely not to get out of the West. But I wouldn't pick them to go too deep because Mike Conley Jr., he's been injury prone. B Houston 34, what's good? I didn't hear you mention new play-in format as the anti-tanking tactic. Do you agree? Anti-tanking tactic. Yeah, I think so. It made teams more competitive. I know the Chicago Bulls were much more competitive down the stretch because it came to the second to last game of the regular season, or third last game of the regular season. They were officially eliminated, but they were playing well, even when Zach LaVine was out with COVID. So, Derek, I didn't think about that, but good point. I like that. Is Derrick Rose a candidate for Sixth Man of the Year? And how about what he's meant to the Knicks turnaround this season? Says Aaron Janowski. It's one of the best stories in all the NBA. He reunites with Tibbs, whom he loves, and Tibbs loves him. They let Elfrid Payton be the starting point guard, but Derrick Rose plays the majority of minutes. So, yes, I definitely think he should be the Sixth Man of the Year. And his resurgence in the city of New York, where if you're up, baby, if the Knicks are winning, man, you can write your ticket in the city of New York. Brian K. Hurd, good to see you. So, yeah, I just think it's a great story. The emergence of, or not the emergence, because Julius Randle did this last year. He balled out like this last year. But the key, in my opinion, has been R.J. Barrett. I did not see this coming. I did not see him being this good this quickly. He has been a real find for them, as has Quigley, Emmanuel Quigley, the guard from Kentucky. So they've had some nice surprises on that team, have the Knicks, but they've got a very good gel. The chemistry is really good with this Knicks team. And I think, Aaron, I think Derrick Rose had a lot to do with that. I was surprised when I read Kyrie Irving had a 40, 50, 90 shooting. How about yourself? Kyrie Irving, y'all, I've never had a problem. I love Kyrie. I think he's the best point guard in the league. I don't necessarily like his off-court stuff. I'm starting to like it more now. Now it makes sense because he's an intelligent dude. But when he was younger, he was just silly. He didn't know what to do with all that. So now he's kind of controversial, but I like it. I like it. He's his own person. He knows who he is, and he puts his time, effort, and energy into causes that he feels are important. So I like it. And the fact that he was 40% from three, 50% from two, and 90% from the line shows you the type of offensive juggernaut that Kyrie Irving really is. If he can stay healthy and be consistent throughout the playoffs, it's going to be tough to beat the Nets, y'all. It's going to be tough. Big Pat, what's good? Was the playing Patrick Baldwin. Congratulations. This is Coach Patrick Baldwin from Milwaukee. We call it Milwaukee. Used to be UW Milwaukee, but it's University of Milwaukee. University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee. Let's just say Milwaukee. But Coach Patrick Baldwin, his son, Patrick Baldwin Jr., 6'9", do-it-all small forward, signed to play with his father. And that just warmed my heart because a lot of times young kids like that in those situations can go to a Milwaukee and turn down a Kentucky, Duke, Kansas, because Patrick Baldwin Jr. could have gone anywhere he wanted to. Probably could have gone to the G League Ignite situation. Definitely could have gone overseas and could have gone anywhere in college basketball, but he chose to stay home with his father. So I love that decision. Congratulations, Coach, to you and your family. Was the play-in game implemented to diffuse tanking? Yep. That's what we just answered that with Derek. But you guys are thinking like intelligent minds think alike. Thank you, Carol. I appreciate that. Does load management have a place in the playoffs, or are we done with that mess? You know what, Derek? I think load management is here to stay. I really do. When you're paying somebody $30, $40 million a year, and you want them to be their best at the end of the year during the playoff time, and you want to stagger their playing time during the regular season so that they can be effective in the most important time of the year, load management is here to stay. I know that players like James Harden, he doesn't believe in it. If James Harden is healthy, he'll play all day, every day. Doesn't want to sit. But there are other franchises. Well, there are a lot of franchises now that understand, is it more important to get 80 regular season games out of this person, or can I have him for 95% of playoff games? Which do you want? You miss 10 to 12 regular season games, but have him for 95% of the playoffs? Or you want him for 80 to 82 regular season games and maybe get injured and not be in the playoffs at all? I think that that's kind of the way things are going with load management. And if you're a business owner, think about it. It would make sense. Do you believe the concept that some NBA teams lose games late for seeding in the playoffs, i.e. Clippers avoiding the Lakers this year in potential first-round series? No, Troy, I don't. Because these guys, man, at the end of the day, they're all competitive. And if they're going to suit up, warm up, get ready to play, and the ball goes up, they're trying to win. They're competitors. So I don't think that those teams try to, I think what the Clippers did, the Clippers wanted to see what they had in some of their players, like Scruggs or Oturu. It was maybe Coffee. Maybe Richard Coffee got some extended playing time. The Clippers wanted to see what they had with their younger players and guys that aren't necessarily rotational players. So I don't think the Clippers necessarily were trying to avoid the Lakers. I just think that they knew they were in the playoffs. The Clippers are 4 seed. So they won't, like Troy says, they won't match up with the Lakers in the first round. In the first round situation. So that's interesting. Let's see. What's up, Don Green? Good to see you. But if they end up playing the Lakers in the first round, but if Utah plays an 8th-seeded Lakers, do you still anticipate Jazz being okay with a 70% healthy Mitchell? Yeah, I mean, there's no choice. they'll have no choice, Aaron. And so he's gonna play. Donovan Mitchell. No, I don't think. Yeah, the Lakers can't be the AC. Oh, yes, they could. I'm sorry, Aaron. You're right. If the Lakers lose and then they win the game against the 9-10 winner, Memphis and San Antonio, they would be the 8 seed. You're right. I mean, the Lakers versus Jazz in the first round, that'd be a heck of a series, wouldn't it? Oh my gosh. I don't know. That's a good one. We'll talk about that. What grade do you give Kobe, and do you see him getting better? I give Kobe White a B, almost a B plus. He's really a two guard, ladies and gentlemen, trying to run the point. And he's in a great situation because he's got Mo Cheeks and Billy Donovan, who are two great guards in their own right that can impart all their wisdom and knowledge and experience. And I think you saw when Billy Donovan went and talked to Patrick. God, why am I forgetting his name? Oh, P-Dub, Patrick Williams. You saw when they talked to Patrick Williams at the end of the regular season what Patrick Williams did. He exploded. And this was the Patrick Williams we wanted to see all season. But he's a young rookie. Kobe White, I think, would have finished his I think Kobe White would finish his junior year or senior year, North Carolina. So he's still a young guy. He's a young player. But I think next year he's going to take off because Zach LaVine invited Kobe White and Patrick Williams to work out with him in the offseason, either in Seattle or Los Angeles. So the fact that they're coming together and trying to work out together, I think you're going to see a much improved Kobe White next season. If Brooklyn is healthy, everybody else is playing for second place. Well, I think in the East that might be the case, Haven. But think about the Nets fighting through the Eastern Conference to get to the finals. One of those dudes is getting hurt. Kyrie, Harden, or Durant. Their history dictates that if they play heavy minutes in a back-to-back situation, I'm not sure they could last. And I'm not sure that Steve Nash could load manage their minutes enough to possibly, limp through the playoffs and be fresh enough when the finals come to go up against a team that has a Anthony Davis or a Joker or, DeAndre Ayton, bigs that will make DeAndre Jordan work. And if DeAndre Jordan gets in foul trouble, it's a wrap for the Nets because they can't guard the paint. If he's out, if he gets in foul trouble or something. So to me, the Nets are really, really short up front. That's where they're going to run into trouble. Not necessarily in the Eastern Conference, but if they find their way into the Western Conference, into the finals against Trailblazers, they got impressive size up front with Nurkic, Joker at Denver, and their length, Michael Porter Jr., Bol. Then you look at the Lakers with Anthony Davis and their size up front. I think the interior size is what's going to bother the Nets. Not necessarily in the Eastern Conference, but whomever they meet up with out of the West, if they advance, I don't know. I'd like to be wrong. I hope they stay healthy, but I don't know, Haven. That's a big ask, but I agree with you. I've not paid much attention to the NBA this season thus far. I've only watched a handful of games. I'll catch up in the playoffs, but I'm rolling with Rondo as always. I pick his team to win. That means the Clippers. So we'll see how the Clippers do. Lester McCarroll Jr., what's up, Lester? Good to see you, man. I love the play-in tournament. It means that those fans who are able to get tickets late in the season will have a greater chance at seeing their favorite players on the court. Great point, Lester. because these games will be more meaningful. Fewer teams will sit their stars. I'm also against tanking. It's disrespectful to the fans in the long run. Couldn't say it any better. B. Houston, who do you like, Kobe White or Cole Anthony as lead guard better? That's a good question, B. Houston, because they're both very similar. I'm not sure that either. I know that Kobe White's not a pure point guard. And Cole Anthony, he's being asked to run it on a bad team. I'm not sure that he could be a high-level lead guard. So I'd get a slight edge to Cole Anthony, but just slight. But that's a really good question because both of those players are very similar. Lester McCarroll Jr. coming with the heat today, baby. I hope not, especially now you want the Lakers early in the playoffs before they get in sync. Also, who's your NBA Coach of the Year? Nate McMillan. Nate McMillan is my Coach of the Year. I know that, what's his name? In Utah should get heavy consideration. Oh. Boy, these old moments get me, boy. Greg Simon, what's good? TX Cam, how you doing? Golly, man. Quinn Snyder should get heavy consideration based on the fact that the Jazz went wire to wire, best record in the NBA. So he should get heavy consideration. But that thing in Atlanta had a chance to be really ugly there at the beginning of the year. They had injuries. They had player movement. Bogdanovich was, still kind of tripping about his Sacramento situation. They let go of Pierce. They elevate Nate McMillan, and they hit their stride. John Collins is playing as well as he's played in his career. The Clint Capella, Trae Young duo is damn near unstoppable. Kevin Huerter's healthy, and he can stretch the floor, and he's got a unique skill set that he can run the point as well. Bogdanovich is one of the best shooters in the NBA. The Hawks have depth, but for some reason, Pierce couldn't pull it all together. But Nate McMillan has. And I think Coach Howell 13, thanks for joining. Let's look at who the Atlanta Hawks, so they've got Atlanta and Miami. That is going to be interesting. I thought it was flipped. Why did I think it was flipped? I thought Atlanta, okay. For some reason, I thought it was different. But anyway, I like Atlanta. I like what they're doing. I think that they can go on a run and do some good things. That's who my Coach of the Year would be. Let's see. Coach of the Year, Tibbs in New York, Nate in Atlanta. But we knew Atlanta was much improved. No one expected New York to achieve what it has done, though. I've got to give the edge to Tibbs. Okay, the only reason I don't give the edge to Tibbs, Atlanta doesn't have an MVP, a former MVP, right? Atlanta doesn't have they've got Trae Young, but they don't have a Julius Randle, right? So Atlanta is a unique blend of talent, in my opinion. But if you were to look on the rosters and look at what teams for both players from both teams have done, I would give the talent edge to the New York Knicks, not the Atlanta Hawks. If you go up and down the roster, would you rather have Kevin Huerter or R.J. Barrett? I think I'd lean towards R.J. Barrett. Would you rather have who's the backup big for Atlanta? There's a backup big. Would you rather have Taj Gibson or this backup that I can't think of in Atlanta, who's not bad? I'd take Taj Gibson. So I don't know. Some folks would take Trae Young over Derrick Rose. I wouldn't. I'd take Derrick Rose over Trae Young. So to me, the roster to me is a little bit better in New York than it even is in Atlanta. So that's why I would give Nate the edge. But great point, Lester, as always. Harlem High, New York's finest. What's good, brother? Is New York and Atlanta in the first round? Okay. That's what I thought. I don't know why. Man, they got to update this. Let me go. No, I'll just X out of that. Because I was doing it for the play-in game. But, thank you for that, Harlem. Appreciate that. Don Green said, I would take Trae Young or D Rose over Trae Young as well. Grease the GOAT. What's up, Grease the GOAT? Good to see you. D Rose over Trae Young right now. No doubt. And look, people will say, oh, because you guys are Chi-Town cats. That's what y'all say. No. Right now, I love Trae Young's game. He drops dimes. He can score with the best of them. But there's something about D Rose in the fourth quarter, ladies and gentlemen. The size, the athleticism, the know-how, the moxie, the Inglewood. Let's just keep it real. I'm taking D Rose over Trae Young right now. All right. So I'm gonna wrap up. Didn't want to go this long, but y'all keep me energized, so I appreciate it. Check out Basketball Africa League. The games are coming on this afternoon. I believe the first one has started. So check it out. I'll try to come back later on the week. Let's talk about the playing games. And I've got some announcements about what we're going to be doing around college basketball in the offseason. Okay? So you guys have a great rest of your week. Thanks so much for joining. Love you all. Peace.